Hello everyone, and thank you for watching our presentation on our Paul panel rip systems for wide arbor ripping of panels. Paul offers not only the rip saws with either fixed or moving blades, but a wide variety of in-feed and out-feed handling equipment. With these machines, we can rip or groove most any type of material in panel form. Here you see some of our in-feed solutions, a pusher type system to feed the panels in. We offer many different configurations. Here we're using a panel rip saw to do a crosscut operation on some laminate veneered flooring blanks. We then feed it in a 90-degree direction to do the ripping. Our machines typically use a fixed arbor, but can have moving blades. We can also do cross-cutting with an actual wide crosscut saw that'll cut up to a 4-foot panel after the ripping operation. So you can have an inline rip and crosscut solution for your panel products. These machines produce a tremendous amount of lineal footage of strips. So the in-feed and out-feed handling equipment is key to maximize the production of these saws. We have customized solutions such as a rotating device after the first saw, and then the handling equipment to feed it into the second saw for the ripping. We have turning devices that can turn a panel over before the next operation. So any special solutions that you need, Paul can provide them. Paul has built over 3,000 of these type of rip saws. In this configuration here, we've done our ripping, and now we're going through another rip saw at a 90-degree angle for the cross-cutting. After the ripping or cross-cutting has been done, we can provide vacuum robotic systems to automatically destack the material and put it on a pallet. So these are low labor, high production type systems. Our fixed arbor saw is called our M34 model. It's available with arbors up to 8 feet wide. We have a moving blade system or fixed arbor for LVL material called a SK series. And then our K34 Vario combines moving blade technology with wide arbor panel ripping. So you can have a different setup automatically with the blades moving into position via computer control with a Vario. Here you can see our standard M34 saw for 6 feet wide panels. Basically, you can feed them almost butt to butt. This machine has a fixed arbor. Here you can see our arbor configuration has over 100 blades fixed on the arbor with spacers based on the width that you need to cut. Horsepower on these machines goes up to 125 horsepower. So even if you're cutting with a lot of blades in the cut, we can provide a solution that'll handle that production. There are a lot of different in-feed systems that you can use. It's very important to get the right speed in-feed system, however, for these machines, both before the saw and after the saw. On the outfeed side, we can have right angle transfer belts that take it to the next part of the line, or we can also have stackers. Our in-feed systems allow you to position 1 or 2 bunks of material into position to be fed in with a pusher type system. We also offer vacuum feeders to pick up and place one panel at a time onto the end feed of the saw. Here the system has a scissors lift that lowers, the next stack comes in, moves into position, and then is fed into the saw. We have systems that can position and feed from 4 to 10 panels per minute based on the requirements you need. One of the keys to this type machine, the saw itself, is the number of rollers that we have inside the machine. We typically have at least 8 top rollers and 6 bottom rollers, so we have really good control of the material inside the saw. That allows us to feed the material very straight. It also allows us, if we're using a machine, we do offer a machine that has both a top and bottom arbor. Sometimes we'll use the bottom arbor for the ripping operation and the top arbor for grooving. The control we have of the material based on the number of rollers that we have in our saw allows us to hold a very tight tolerance for either the depth of the groove or the remaining thickness of the material. So not only can we rip, but we can also do a lot of grooving applications with our saw. This particular line here is feeding plastic panels. So as long as it's in panel form, whether it's plastic, wood, MDF, a wide variety of material, we can feed it through and rip it with our machine. In this particular case, this machine is using a top and bottom arbor. Cement is also possible to rip with our machine. This machine has both top and bottom arbor, and it is actually ripping and grooving. It's chamfering from the top with the top arbor, this fiber cement board. And you can see we set this up in our factory, so we don't have any handling equipment. In this case, the customer provided it. But you can see here the chamfer that we're putting onto the pieces with the top arbor and of course the correct tooling. These machines for this aggressive material, the fiber cement, we actually use stainless steel and ceramic coatings inside the saw on your dust extraction and a lot of the other surfaces. This machine here, we're using a top arbor, and what we're doing here is just a bead board. So we're running it through the top arbor with the correct tooling is putting a bead board, and this machine's running at over 220 feet per minute through the saw. So it's a very high production system for cutting these wall panels. And one thing I wanted to show you, we've talked about the fixed arbor. One of the hallmarks of the Paul machine is how fast you can change our fixed arbors out. As I mentioned, these machines come with arbors up to 8 feet wide. And we typically we would have spacers between the tooling on the arbor. But to change out the arbor is very quick. It can typically be done between 5 and 7 minutes. Basically remove an outboard bearing door. The arbor then slides completely out of the machine. We then provide you with a cart where you can put the arbor onto the cart and then move it away to your saw table where you sharpen your saws. Bring another already tooled arbor back to the machine, and that process you can do after you've gotten used to the machine in 5 to 7 minutes. So even with these long arbors, it's very easy and quick to change out the tooling. So you have very little downtime. Even if you do several setups during a day, you can typically spare 5 to 7 minutes for the setup of this type machine. So I guess the key I want you to take away from this presentation on our Paul rip saws, both with fixed arbors and moving blades, is that whatever application you have for ripping panels, we can do it quickly, at a high production rate. We can do it very perfectly as far as our straightness of feed, as well as if you're doing grooving, any grooving depths that you need. So please contact us and let us know your application. We've got a quick questionnaire you can fill out. We can then make a proposal for a customized solution for your panel ripping operation. Thank you, and let us know if you have any questions or need additional information on our saws.